The program is still this morning on ITV, and as usual, Monday morning, 8 a.m., aviation is top when it comes to first talking point. And here, we're going to be doing that this time around live, not a repeat. Last week was a shocking one when we have to play what happened previously due to popular demand. And of course, the details you see on the screen is that of the aviation freak. And by ICAO in 2017, he was made an aviation expert. He's there, Mr. Gordon Inabike, Inabwenyi Ike. Of course, the telephone numbers are there. And then his email is equally there. You can look out for over 150 videos that he has done when it comes to aviation on the blog, www.aviationfreaks.com. Okay, a very good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Joe.
An estate surveyor and valuer who finds, pleasure in things and happenings, programs and events here in Nigeria and of course in the globe. Very good morning to you once again.
Good morning, Joe.
Before we look at...
dear viewers, please welcome to the program.
Yeah. Before we look at what we'll be doing today, aviation development in Nigeria and the role of Faan, part 2. Remember, 2 weeks ago we did part 1, and last week was a repeat due to popular demand. Part 2 will be on today. Before that, Honorable Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, is back in the sector, and this time around is coming back as a full-fledged minister, reporting to no one except Abakari. Of course, the president made that clear.
That's correct.
So how do you feel about it?
First of all, I want to congratulate him. Getting back is an indication that Mr. President is happy with him and happy with his activities as Minister of State. And more so, lifting him to full-fledged minister right now and making the aviation ministry as a standalone ministry is also a promotion. And so one can only imagine that he did everything Mr. President wanted him to do. Otherwise, Mr. President would have shown him the door to walk through and leave the arena.
But if you are to set an agenda for Hadi Sirika, what will it be?
Well, this has been set already. He has them there. He knows exactly what is required in the system. We have to strengthen our security issues. We have to also update our aviation aids and the equipment required for safe, landing and taking off, in all our airports, and of course, most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, have perimeter fencing of all our airports and avoid animals crisscrossing, our runways, because if we don't, one of these days we are going to have an ugly situation on our hands. When a plane gets below its decision altitude, all the plane is asking is, I want to touch down, I want to touch down. In that state of helplessness, suddenly, when the nose begins to come down, the pilot now finds that some herd of cattle are crossing the runway. What would that be? The pilot at that point in time will be totally helpless, can't do anything but crash into those animals, and that would be very disastrous. Because yes.
Yeah, that means to you, perimeter fencing is key to Hadi Sirika.
And better control. Now, I need also to see all the people working in all the sections of the aviation sector retrained. We need to have people behaving better. We need to have people more focused on the job. there is still room for mistakes. As far as aviation is concerned, whether you're the one flying the machines, or you are supposed to be, backing up behind the scene, security-wise, and the rest of them. People must get the mentality that this job is when you take your seat, is a job until you are done, and you leave your shift. That's correct.
Okay, quickly again is the fact that at the weekend, last week, the Enugu airport was shut down due to issues with the runway. Yes,
I am not happy about that. It smacks of lack of diligence and some level of lawlessness, and I'll explain that to you, and poor planning. There's no reason we should leave our runway to so run down that we now need to close down our airports. As a matter of fact, if we had good planning in place, as soon as that runway began some years ago to show signs of breakdown, a second runway should have been built very quickly, and by today we'll simply close down one, and the airplanes will be.
So this means that while we were building the Abuja airport in 2017, several other airports also needs upgrade.
They needed to have been upgraded, and that's why I describe it as a product of planlessness. You see, Joe, we have to face the hard fact that when we are running our affairs and running ourselves as a nation, if we make a mistake, no matter how hurting, we must accept that mistakes been made, and somebody must set in place a process that ensures that those kind of mistakes are never made again. That's the way to develop, and that's the way to really upgrade ourselves as a people and as a nation. If we continue, in an arrogant manner, not accepting, our mistakes, we will never grow and we will never learn. And so there's nothing short of just planlessness. These things should have been planned for, and should have been, a total close down should have been avoided. But here we are, and it is becoming a tradition. We let things go completely bad, and then we shut down and
we are reactive and not proactive.
That's correct. And so we can't go on this way.
And you believe the Minister of Aviation will be able to change all of that before the end of his
if he sets his mind to it, there's nothing beyond him. If he sets his mind to it, there is nothing beyond him. If you go through the law setting up Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria.
But with what we have seen, most of the airport need upgrade, and the resources not available.
I don't agree.
So what can he do?
I don't agree about resources not being available. I may agree with what he said during the Senate screening process, when he lamented, about the cumbersomeness of getting approvals and getting, what was the name of this section of government that deals with scrutinizing contracts and all of those stuff. I'm trying to remember
I do with procurement.
Yes, procurement. Yes, procurement department. He made mention of the fact that the process seems to be very cumbersome and time-consuming, and so. For those kind of situations, I can understand that an official's hands will be tied if you desire to do something, and then some department that will release approvals that will let you do what you're supposed to do are dragging their feet and moving with, at snail speed. Your hands will be tied.
Is there need for him to touch the plan to have national carrier? He started it and then packed it somewhere.
Well, if he has fixed, remember that issue was raised here on that fateful Monday morning, and by Wednesday, Mr. President and his cabinet, in his wisdom, shut down the program.
Yeah.
So if Honorable Minister Hadi Sirika has plugged all the loopholes and corrected all the mistakes identified, and then set it back on the path of genuine, honorable, and profitable new airline. Why not?
Okay, now let's go straight to the topic for today, which is aviation development, the in Nigeria and role of Faan. We're going to be doing this in the next couple of minutes with, of course, your aviation freak. And at this time, we want to see the first
clip one, please.
On the screen, so that
I want to let you know that you're going to see as we go through Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria Faan. The law that set it up, believe you me, of all the laws setting up most government agencies that I have read, I haven't seen one as awesome as the one that's set up Faan. And Faan has a capability of engaging all the banks in Nigeria and get everything going on simultaneously, and with the capability to generate those funds and pay them back. It's awesome. So somebody has got to sit up and get this job done.
So from what you're saying,
yes.
The industry is akin to a money making industry, revenue generation industry?
Yes, it's awesome. I was reading through the law and I was like, so what's keeping us down? I couldn't just understand it. I've read quite a lot of laws setting up most of government agencies just for the fun of it, because I like reading all the time. And but when I read through that of Faan, wow, I was blown away. So why are we wasting time? But anyway, let's get on with this. Click one on the screen, please. Here we go, Joe. The foundation and objectives of Faan, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. Chapter F5 of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria Faan Act Part 1, 2004, states, number one, there is hereby established a body to be known as the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. In this act referred to as the authority. The authority shall be a body, corporate, with perpetual succession and common seal, and may sue and be sued in its corporate name, and own, hold, or dispose of property, whether movable or immovable. 3. As from the appointed day, there shall be transferred to the authority all airports maintained by the ministry, that's Ministry of Aviation, pursuant to Section 6 of the Civil Aviation Act. And the authority shall maintain and manage those airports and other airports provided by the minister to the Act. Okay? Or rather, sorry, pursuant to the Act, to that Act. Okay? So let's move to clip 2 very quickly. And we'll continue with the foundational objectives of Faan. Based, we're there, aren't we? Very good. Based on the provision of the law as stated in clip 1, Faan is a parastatal of government under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Aviation. The organization's goal is stated in its vision and mission statements. The vision, to be amongst the best airport groups in the world. Did you hear that, Joe?
To be amongst the best airport groups in the world.
And then the mission, to develop and profitably manage customer-centric airport facilities for safe, secure, and efficient carriage of passengers and goods at world-class standards of quality. What an awesome vision, what an awesome mission. But Faan must live up to it, because he has everything going for it to be able to
What do you mean by
it
has everything going?
As we go through, you will see a little more about what the law permits Faan to do. Let's just keep running so that during conclusive conversations, then we can talk a little more if we find time. Now, clip 3, please. Yeah, we're there. Functions of Faan. Based on the provisions of the law, the principal responsibilities of Faan include A. Develop, provide, and maintain at all airports all necessary services and facilities for the safe, orderly, expeditious, and economic operation of air transport. Provide adequate facilities and personnel for effective security of all airports. C. Provide conducive environment under which passengers and goods will be carried by air and under which aircraft will be used for other gainful purposes, and for prohibiting the carriage by air of goods and of such classes as may be prescribed. So Faan is totally in charge. D. Provide accommodation and other facilities for effective handling of passengers and freight. E. Carry out at airports such economic and commercial activities that are relevant to air transport, which may be carried out without prejudice to the functions of the authority. If you remember, when we dealt with part 1, Atta and I had wandered aloud. Airports today are huge marketplaces.
No,
around the world.
Even from this clip 3 that you just read, towards
carry out at airports such economic.
No, before that one.
Okay. Provide accommodation and other facilities for the effective handling of passengers and freight.
That's an
warehouses.
That's an issue. Most time when people keep waiting for their flights to be announced, you just discover that they spend the whole day while waiting. It has happened to me.
Yes.
Just going to Lagos here, I spent about 7 hours in the airport.
Yes.
You know? And for some persons that may not be as strong, I'm talking about those that may have health conditions.
Yeah, that's right.
They just require a place where they will not lie. With that point now, it appears that there should be a place where such people should be taken to.
As a matter of fact, it's awesome and huge. And I'm amazed that over the years, no one has really scratched the surface of what the law permits Faan to do. And the source of income to fund those projects are there. And what's more, Faan is not expected to declare profit to anyone. It's a public, service agency. Their business is raking money, spend it, give, services that will earn more money to create more services. That is what it's an endless circle. And I hope somebody will just
before now there are some agencies that we are not remitting to the federal government. For example, or even if they remit, it's just a chicken fee, like JAM, until when we have Professor Olevide, who at the very first year, 2017, to be corrected, he remitted close to about 8 billion. So, but if Faan is going to operate like that, what is the possibility that we're going to have a government that will tell you, hey, I know you are raking money, and it's not for you to spend all the money.
No.
Can we get an account of how you are?
Joe, it's all about budgeting and making projections and setting targets.
Yeah, the surplus.
This year,
where should the surplus go to?
For goodness sake, the system is already taken care of by what was it called?
The ministry.
No. I'm talking about the way government has structured the monies in by agency, the
TSA.
Yes. So you reckon your money, it sits in your account, and in accordance with your budget, you are free to draw down.
No, but what I'm saying,
you are free to draw down.
Is the surplus, even JAM that has an account with the CBN, TSA, cannot. I mean, government can't take the money if it.
When you're talking about surplus, Joe, I think you're misunderstanding something. It is still your money. Is what we're saying in effect is, for instance, if you set a target that you're going to build something that will cost you 10 billion naira, for instance, and you had 10 billion naira released to you, or you have it in your account to spend, and it's been put aside for a particular purpose, and the project is not going in accordance with target, and then you find that at the end of the year you spent only 6 billion, remaining 4. Of course, that money will be accounted for, and it still sits there as your money, but it goes back to the treasury, still sitting there as your money, but then a documentation of yet another budget of continuity will give you access back to the same money to spend. The law setting up Faan is clear.
Okay,
carry out all these activities.
So if the law that set up Faan is as clear as that, what is the issue? Why do we have dilapidated infrastructure?
I just can't understand it. Maybe some insider will need to be with us in this studio and answer this question to tell us something we do not know.
That is if the insider knows.
Yeah, so something that we do not know. Because I do not understand why our airports are in the state they are, with the kind of awesome power and awesome opportunity created by the law, setting up Faan for Faan to rake in money from every nook and cranny and use the money to develop, not to make profit and declare profit for government, but to develop and give services to the public.
Okay, let's look at
clip 4. Yeah, but this is the last bit of this is saying charge for services. That is F. Charge for services provided by the authority at airports. So we can now move on to clip 4. Now, specific services provided by Faan. Following from the functions of Faan as stated in clip 3, Faan offers specific services in the following areas: the airside, runways, taxiways. I mean, some of the things that Faan can develop: taxiways, fire services, water supply, power supply. Faan can actually build his own independent power if he wants at all our airports, like you have in Kochi. Yes, and like you have in Kochi airport in India. I mean, the first airport in the world to be fully and 100% powered by solar. And for goodness sake, they don't have more sun than we have over here. In Kochi, India. True. It's there for anyone to go and see it. So, here we go. Is Faan's business to deal with this issue of water supply, power supply, air lighting, apron pavements, you know, where you have paved places for planes to park away from the airport building. That's where you call the apron pavement, and then of course it has right for the apron control. If Faan has such a responsibility to generate that, to provide that, only if they are able to generate revenue, then there is something wrong with its ability to generate revenue. Well, we'll deal with that at the appropriate time. If I run through this, I'll tell you one or two things if we still find time. C, terminal building. Remember, we are dealing with the things that Faan specifically, is supposed to be serving the public with. Now, terminal building. provision of facilities for arrival, departure lounges, check-in counters, airline offices, information desks, offices for banks, offices for government agencies, VIP lounges. Well, they built a beautiful one in the new terminal building in Abuja here. I've been there. It's really very
cool. The VIP lounge?
Yes, it's really very cool and nice. So fair enough. Now, duty-free shops, snack bars, etc. A whole lot. There's no end to what they can do at the airport. You know, services that also earn income. Then telecommunications, provision of public telephones at airports. Faan is allowed to do that. Now, security, safety of aircraft and passengers at airports, industrial security of properties such as parked aircraft, cargo in warehouses, and property in offices, CCTV, etc. Faan can actually develop warehouses
but
in safe.
But that provision of public telephone, don't you think is outdated? Because perhaps the time that this law was drafted was when NATEL was still in operation.
Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yes, it sounds outdated quite well, but Faan can make a whole lot out of what this law provided for it. And this is as amended anyway. It's not the very old one that I'm dealing with here. This is the latest, amendment. Now, clip 5, please, quickly. Let's sources of revenue. Yeah, here we go, Joe. Sources of revenue for Faan. Now watch this, Joe. Sources of revenue for Faan. Part 4 of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria Act 1999, number 52, okay, clearly recommends Faan's sources of revenue to include 1, landing fees. Every plane that lands there pays something to Faan. Parking fees. All those airplanes littered in the airport
must
pay fees to Faan. If they're owing Faan should find debt collectors to go get those monies, especially our private jet owners. They must pay. No excuses. Okay? C, passengers service charge, local and international. Rents. If Faan decides to build even an estate not too far away from the airport right there, and decide that we're not selling those, people who want to live as tenants, come on, stay in there for whatever, build hotels, it's allowed. The law permits them to do all this and rake in money. Go to Transcorp Hilton and see the real minting machine, how the owners of Transcorp Hilton are minting money on daily basis. Faan can do something better than that and shift attention to theirs. Well, C, passenger service charge, local and international. D, rents. E, concession fees. When they do this, their concessioning of services, of course, people pay for those. VIP launch charges. Sitting in there is not free.
But it has no fees. You just go in there, and then a lady walks or
no. You're wrong. You either belong to the VIP group, which makes you pay some money, or you pay specifically a certain amount that allows you to sit in there. It's not free, Joe. It's not free. Just take it from me. It's not free.
In 2016, I was there, and what was collected was 3,000 naira.
Well, for some people, it's huge money. Imagine collecting 3,000 naira from 1 million people. Do you know how many people going through that airport on a daily basis? So you can actually.
Let's run.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll be done in a minute. Then utilities, fuel charges, port charges. I'm telling you about sources of revenue for Faan. Frontier service charges, sales of information, contract registration fees. I know that I paid once as a valuer, to have some of their assets, valued around the nation. As a matter of fact, that one went down. A whole lot of estate surveyors and valuers was paid to participate in the screening of those that can do the job. Well, I haven't heard that that job is on and going. Maybe someday they are going to come back to it and tell us what exactly is going on. But, Joe, the point is they have access to contract registration fees, and it's usually not cheap money. Okay? Now, rental of warehouses, if they have them, they can actually rent them to business people and make a whole lot of money. Rental of plant and equipment, as permitted by law. So they can actually go into leasing and make a whole lot of money. Fines, when people misbehave, both the airlines or private people or whatever, all those fines go to the pockets of Faan.
But you hardly see someone in the airport being fined for misbehaving.
Well,
it's an aspect that whoever that is leading Faan should look into.
Then if they had built their multi-level car parks, they should be entitled to car park charges.
That one is
the
process.
Well, I hope so. And then the Aviation bridge charges. Clip 6, because I know time is about to chase us away from here. This is our last clip for the day. Sources of revenue of Faan continues are all other sums. Listen to this, Joe. As provided by law, all other sums that may accrue to or as may be received by the authority in the exercise of its functions and activities under this Act. Open-ended. Open-ended. Come on. It takes somebody sitting down, thinking about it, thinking it through, developing other ways of raking in some good cash, and they will have enough money to do what they have to do. S, such monies as may, from time to time, be allocated to it by the federal government of Nigeria. They can even really ask government to give them some more money in spite of the ones they are raking in by themselves. That the law provides for that. Okay. Above mentioned monies comprising the fund of the authority shall in each year be applied by it in defraying the following expenses: the working and establishment expenses and expenditure on or provision for the maintenance and renewal of any of the undertakings of the authority. The interest on any loan raised by the authority. What does that tell you? Faan can actually engage all the banks in Nigeria and get the economy rolling. Banks are, and then they'll be able to pay back.
That is where the issue is. Ability to pay back. Because
your income profile.
If the law permits you to meet any bank for loan, it's another thing for the bank to look at if you will be able to pay within the specified period of loan.
If you choose to be a responsible organization, set up an appropriate accounting department where every inch of what's going on is being monitored. For goodness sake, Joe, as you borrow a build for Nigerians, you are raking in money from all the sources available to you and diligently paying back. Banks are not quarreling with you, that you haven't paid all your loans. They quarrel that you are not paying, not that you haven't paid all. If you, Joe, today owe a bank 100 million, and every month.
Let's leave this discussion for another time.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. The second last is the sums required to be transferred to a sinking fund or otherwise set aside for the purpose of making provision for the payment of any other borrowed money they are allowed to borrow. The remuneration, fees, and allowances of the members of the board for they have their own board of directors, and for reimbursing members of the board in accordance with such rates as may from time to time be approved by the federal government of Nigeria. We are done with our 6 clips.
Before we go, what is the possibility that these laws are workable?
Joe, there is nothing impossible about anything in life. It's about setting your mind to it, being diligent about it, and being sincere. Sincerity of purpose. Do I really want to get this job done, or do I plan to working there and embezzled. Joe, it's all about the decision making and about operating in a system that encourages you to do what is right all the time. Not sometimes, Joe, all the time.
Thank you so very much for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, whoever that may sit there as the Faan MD has an open check.
Open check.
Yeah, you can.
It's awesome.
Just fill in whatever you want to fill in, and it will come.
By the way, part 3 is coming. You haven't seen all.
It will come by next week. It will come by
yes,
next week.
part 3.
But for want of time, we'll end the discussion here, and it will just be for you on the YouTube to watch again and again, and draw the lines, and of course know that we have so much in our airport that we can really make and milk money from.
That's right.
We took a quick break, but when we come back, the program this morning on ITV will continue.